This is the first king-size bed I ever built. It's way more complicated than it needs to be, but I'm gonna show you how it all goes together. Due to constraints on the size of my car, my pieces always have to be taken down in some way, so I use a lot of threaded inserts. But unlike IKEA or Walmart furniture that comes in a million pieces with cheap hardware and cheap materials, I always try to make sure that my takedown furniture is really strong despite coming in many pieces. So the most complicated part of this piece is the headboard. The rest of the bed is actually really standard, just using common bed frame hardware. The headboard starts with 2 legs, then a bunch of cross braces, and finally 2 full-length top braces. Each leg has a bunch of mortises on the sides. That's the woodworking term for a rectangular slot, and each mortise has a hole at the back through which a machine screw will enter. At the top of the leg there are also 2 half-lap joints. I start by fitting the cross brace into each mortise, and I attach the back braces here first because I think it's easier that way, so then I just have this giant cross brace lattice unit. The cross braces have threaded inserts facing the back, and then I put a washer and a 1/4 20 machine screw through the back hole to then thread into the cross brace. The 2 top braces are half-lap joints, so I fit those on and secure from the back. And the rest of the bed goes together pretty easy with non-mortise bed frame hardware, but I've already talked about that at length. From the beginning of this project, I knew I wanted it to have a soft headboard. And I know a lot of people will say that the wood looks really nice, and I definitely think it does. But due to the amount of materials I had access to, the cross braces are too few and too far apart, and sitting up against that wooden headboard is so uncomfortable. It's way more uncomfortable than it looks. And so my original plan was to sew a giant cushion and tie it onto the cross braces with a bunch of ribbons and ties from the back. I don't really have any pictures or videos of my first attempts, but they all looked really, really bad. No matter what I did, the cushion always looked just so saggy and horrible. So I decided it would need a hard backing. I got some plywood, upholstered it, and then I put threaded inserts in the plywood and then made a place for it to connect to the cross braces. I know this headboard is like so ridiculous and complicated. And I was really happy when it was done. I seriously made so many attempts at the headboard cushion, it took me like a month. And then do not forget about the slats. For the beds I make, I've started making the slat rest integral to the side rails. So I go to the trouble of cutting a giant mortise all the way down the side rail, and then I fit and glue in a long wooden piece. And because this is a full king-size bed frame, I wanted to add cross slats as well. So the headboard and footboard have rests for those. And I like to screw my slats together in groups because I think it makes the whole unit stronger, and they're also a lot easier to carry. One more note I forgot to show is that the 2 cross slats have extra legs underneath. And that's all, and I was able to fit this whole thing in my car in one trip. I could not believe it. Okay, thanks for watching.
My little monkey jumping on a bed.